ni Papa, oh.
Miss ka na namin, Papa.
Ang kulit niyo ikaw ah. Paborito ka ni Daddy.
Ma, insun ni Papa, oh.
Miss ka na namin, Papa.
And we are live. Good evening, guys. As always, hope everyone's having a great night. Welcome to Life Matters. Welcome to episode 10 of Life Matters. I'm Rena Gawa. What's up, JD?
I'm good. Annyeonghaseyo rin. Good evening, everyone.
Sinasabi na, napapasobra ka sa mga K-drama. Oh. Ang lakas na ulan sa amin. Kung sakasakali mawawalan kami ng internet, bahala ka na muna. Ang lakas eh. Diyan ba sa inyo wala? Nasa Quezon City ka, right?
Yeah, there's no rain.
Dito.
Wala kahit pa nasa loob ako. Kaya
dito sa may kawayan, buhos talaga. So what's up, JD?
I'm good. So good evening, everyone. It's our last episode.
It's our season ender.
Yeah.
You have something to say, JD, about Life Matters?
Yeah, as usual, one of our colleagues, si RMI, Retardo of Cebu.
Iba naman. For some reason, different people ask you the same question.
Yes,
ask you the same question every episode.
Oh,
Alright, go.
Are we doing this Life Matters thing?
So why?
So, like I always say, despite the nature of our industry, St. Peter Life Plan and Chapels would like to do this as a public service to its clients and to everyone, because we want to give tips and guides on how they will live their life to the fullest. Because
the fullest
matters, right?
You know what? Amazingly, you give the same answer every week. Anyway, alam nyo guys, tonight is actually our season ender. After 10 episodes, tonight is our season ender, which is why we are going to make this episode super extra special. Tonight, magbibigay tayo ng... Anong bibigay natin? Bibigay tayo ng...
Raffle ka daw eh.
Super Pigs. Like 3 of these. No, we're not going to give these. We're going to give away 1,000 pesos for three lucky winners.
Ibang level.
1,000 pesos for 3 lucky winners. Ang kailangan nyo lang gawin, ha? Bart Angelo Abesamis, makinig ka, ha? Is to stick around at pakinggan kung ano man ang pag-uusapan natin dito for tonight. Kasi after, sa end ng show, that is when we are going to ask yung ating mahiwagang tanong. Walang sound effect. Tanong, no. Hindi kasi tayo na. Kulang pa ang tech natin. And we're going to ask these questions at the end of the program. At kung sino man ang syempre makakapagbigay ng tamang kasagutan sa aming mahiwagang tanong, ay again magkakamit ng tumataginting na, magkano ulit, attorney?
1,000 pesos ses.
Oo. Alam mo, attorney anong tawag dito? Naaalala mo nung, kailan ba tayo nagsimula? Was it March or Feb? Oo, no? Nung March, we started our program with Brother Obet Cabrillas.
Parang
our first guest. Oo. Alam mo, yun yung episode na mas marami akong tawa eh. For some reason, mas puro tawa. Tapos, marami ring episodes na, may mga episodes din na talagang para sa akin, really, may weight talaga. And one of that is yung ating, I think that's our episode about the vaccines. Natatandaan mo yun, yung hashtag get vaccinated ata yun eh.
Yeah, I think so.
Parang, di ba? Because that hashtag get vaccinated episode is really important kasi para yun sa kamalayan ng ating mga kasamang St. Peterians and mga audience about what the vaccines are. Diba? But tonight, we're not going to talk about the vaccines, of course. Ito ay parang pagpapatuloy ng ating discussion last episode about financial freedom. And tonight we're going to discuss, in particular, investments talaga.
Wow.
So, wala nang paligoy-ligoy pa. Mr. Ryan Nera, sino ba ang ating guest for tonight?
Last episode, nalaman natin ang kahalagahan ng pagiging financially independent. Ngunit sa dami ng options available in the market, where is it #best to invest? Bibigyang linaw ang lahat ng yan ni Mr. Eric Francis Manalaysay, Business Development Manager of the BPI Asset Management and Trust Corporation. Let us know how we can make our money work for us in this season finale of Life Matters.
What's up, Eric?
Oh, Eric.
Good evening, Ren. Good evening, Attorney Justin.
Evening.
Pare, sabi ko sa'yo, attorney, tingnan mo naman na napapasubo ko pag naka-quote yung guest natin eh. Last week, naka-quote si Marvin, di ba? Tapos naka-t-shirt ako, mapapagalitan ako pag ganyan eh. Nakita mo, isoy na isoy pa tong guest natin, di ba? Tapos hindi ako mag-quote. Lalo akong mapag-iiwanan yan pag ganyan eh. Ang lamang lang sa...
Seryoso.
Ang lamang lang sa akin kasi Eric may halaman sa likod eh.
Ren, actually, sumasabay lang ako sa'yo actually.
Pare, sinasabi. Isa ka ba din sa mga certified plantitos, pare? Naging plantito ka because of the pandemic.
Naging
Umami
plantito na lang.
Umami
Kasi
ka.
wala nang magawa, hindi makalabas. So, bumili na lang ng halaman online.
So pare, ang tawag dito, just like with the other guests, ang una naming tinatanong pare, pinaka-importanting dapat mong masagot. What are you watching sa Netflix right now?
Amazing question. Great question to start off the night.
That's like the only question we have.
Great! Kakatapos ko ng 13. I'm not sure if you guys watched that or if you know about that, yung kay Liza Soberano. So actually, kakatapos ko pa lang.
Check mo yung facial expression ni attorney if you watched it.
Kasi parang di ba may scary parts? I'm not really a fan of mga horror.
It's all cartoons naman, and honestly, the voice of Liza Soberano, okay na. That's all you need.
So that's the only reason. That's the only reason he watched it. So
one of the reasons.
Tuloy na natin to. May isang oras lang tayo para gawin to at pagbabasa ka pa mamaya ng mananalo tulad ng napag-usapan natin. All right. So, alam mo, Eric, nung nakaraan na episode namin, we talked about financial freedom. And most likely, that is something that you always hear. And investing is something that was brought up nung last episode. It's a tool towards achieving financial freedom. In relation doon sa getting into financial freedom, how does investment or investing really work? Is it like just saving money or keeping your money wherever and making sure that it doesn't incur any losses? Or what's your view on that?
All right, that's a good question. No? One of the things that people usually think about pag sinabi investments, para siyang it's a way for you to supplement your income. Like say, for example, you're working with a company or what have you. Okay, naman, it's a way for you to, transition outside, going out from your current employment, no? And well and good. I mean, tama naman. A lot of, what do you call them? Amateur investors or like part-time investors really do go all in investing and make a living out of that. No? So there's no problem there. In fact, that's all in good. But to be honest, when we talk about investments, it's best to go back to the root of the word itself, investing. Because if you think about the basic of investing, it's just basically you putting, something, usually money or capital, liquidity, into a vehicle, usually a security, an investment security, with the hopes of that initial placement will grow into something in the future. Diba? So that is the definition of investment. So with that definition, you think of investments as not a way to just supplement your income, which is, it can, of course, do that. But investments is actually, at least for me, something that you do to complete your financial portfolio. Financial portfolio is basically, if you're employed with a company, you get earnings from that company, your income, ganyan. And then, naiiwan yan sa payroll account. And then maybe you put it in a savings account. No? Do you have a separate savings account, kunyari? And a lot of people, they stop there. For me, investing is completing that picture. No, people tend to stop at saving. Now, for me, investing is a way for you to complete that. No, a step above saving, you invest it. No, at least that's what I think what investments are.
So, Barry, in a nutshell, what you're saying is that's a way of making your money work for you.
Yeah.
Exactly. Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because if you don't do that, no, I mean, nothing wrong with savings. In fact, again, as I keep saying, no, it's part of your completing the financial portfolio. Part talaga yung savings account na yan. But kulang if you just keep it there. I'm not sure if hold on, guys. All right, sorry, I lost you there. Anyway, I'm sorry, I'm talking about investing, no. If you stop at savings kasi, you're gonna get shortchanged because of the phenomenon of inflation. No? And this is something that we always hear. And in order for
you
us,
just said short change. So can you explain that concept?
oh, sure. Just say for example, no, a good example here.
We're talking about
Like I
short
said,
change. Okay.
The thing kasi, if you keep your money into a savings account, that's gonna get eaten up by inflation, no? And a lot of people say, "Ano ba yung inflation yan? What's inflation?" In fact, a lot of commercials talk about inflation. It talks. If you Google it, you're gonna see that it's the rising price of goods or like the diminishing purchasing power of your money. So technical, but for me, if you talk about inflation, ang dali lang isipin yan. Personal experience, nung bata ako, when well,
Nako,
it will.
kailan yan ang sinasabi ko, mabubulgar yung mga kung kailan ka bata eh.
Yun yung sabihin ko
Bubusina ka muna sa amin ni attorney.
Alright, so,
Don't be
wag na
too
lang yung bata.
specific kung kailan ka bata.
Ano na lang, time frame na lang. Siguro
Go, go,
around,
go.
Let's give a number, let's say, for easy understanding, diba? Let's say, let's come up with a number. Let's say you saved 1,000 pesos in for last 20 years or something, diba?
Mhm.
So now your 1,000 pesos and you kept adding on it 1,000 per year. So it's been 20 years. So that's supposed to be 20,000 at the bank, right? Parang less withholding tax plus minimal interest. And even the interest rates change through the years. Now it's not even 1%. When I started in the banking industry, it was more than 1%. So that gives you an idea of my age. Diba? So maybe in that aspect, we discuss what we mean by short change. Kasi ideally, if you do simple arithmetic, you're supposed to get 20,000 in the bank after 20 years, right? So using the concept of inflation, how much do you have now? Parang ganun.
So it's like you're having less.
You're
Parang
20 now. Parang ganun.
Sorry, Ren, you were saying something?
So it's like what you're saying is the value of your money now is less.
Yes, exactly.
Ganun lang
So,
siya, di ba?
to
It's like a
to
capacity
attorney-
of your money. Yeah.
yeah, to Attorney Justin's point, no, the nominal value is the same, no. So 20
Yeah.
years after, that's 20,000 and 100 pesos, kunyari, because of a very small interest rate. But the value that you can purchase with that 20,000 pesos, mababa na siya. No? So ang ganda ng 20 years eh. That's what I was trying to get to kanina. 20 years ago, when say for example, when bago pa lang si Starbucks, I remember bata-bata pa ako na.
1997.
So,
December 1997.
wow, attorney, parang alam natin ng kung
Yeah,
kailan
their
pumasok.
first branch is 6750 in Ayala.
Wow. And since you already know, attorney, if I could ask you, would you know the cost of the mocha frappuccino then?
Nako!
It's
Yeah,
less than
yeah.
100 pesos. I think it's like 85.
Yeah, yan. Kasi I distinctly remember kasi when I bought one, may 100 peso bill ako, may supli pa ako eh. Diba?
Mhm.
But 20 years after, right now, if you go to any Starbucks, like
Wala na.
wala.
Oo.
If you give 100 pesos, baka cookie lang ang bigay sa atin.
short brood nga, hindi aabot yun eh.
So there you go, no? If
Yeah.
you keep it in a savings account, I mean, while it's true that the nominal value does not change, it's still 20,000 20 years down the line, 20,200 pesos probably. The amount of goods and services that you could buy with that money, bumababa na siya.
So parang sinasabi mo, you think it's safe, but it's not really. Diba? Because of inflation.
That is something that we don't normally hear a lot of people talk about. Yung being shortchanged. There's a term for that. We call that shortfall risk. No? If you don't invest, or kaya naman you place your money in something that is, not as efficient as something else, it will not match to your objectives, your investment objectives. Like, say for example, the main point of you, to Attorney Justin's example kanina, the main point of you putting 1,000 pesos para itabi every year is para may ipagpundar ka in the future, right?
There's gotta be a reason for it.
Yeah. So, if you're doing that, no, you want your money na kiniipon mo in one place, it has value 20 years down the line when you're actually going to use it.
So actually, you answered my question. Is that the time value of money, what we discussed? Is that the concept of time value of money? Kasi, yeah. Kasi nga, di ba, this concept is very important to people who want to invest, to convince them that there's more to getting financial freedom other than savings, di ba? So the concept of time value of money is quite a technical and complicated term. So I suppose in what we discussed earlier, you made it simpler. So I was wondering if you have anything else to add to it.
Actually, in a nutshell, I mean, time value of money, tama, no? It sounds technical, it sounds slightly complicated, but to be honest,
it sounds something that you want to avoid in your math.
In your
something any math subject, you want to avoid it. Diba? Pag nakita mo yung time value of money, parang alam mo yung mangyayari, di ba?
Yeah. But actually, you focus just on the word time. No, in essence, in investing, time is your friend. So the longer you stay invested, the more returns you get. Like here's an example. No, so say for example, there's a genie. The genie says, "I'm gonna give you 1 million pesos today," or do you want it that 1 million pesos next year na lang?
Here's your genie strategy.
Medyo macho ang genie.
Here's your genie, pare.
The logical answer to that one is now, diba? And that's instinct of people. And to be frank, in this case, instinct is correct. Mainly because, so say for example, you put that 1 million pesos into a security that pays you 2%. Diba? So, okay, that's 20,000 pesos. Ano pa math? Ay, bigla doon. So, 1 year after, you earn 20,000 pesos. Versus, if you get the money next year pa, that's just 1 million. So, off the bat, you see there's a difference. If you get it now and you invest it, that's 20,000 more. And then the value of that one is if you keep on investing it. Because next year, your money is not 1 million, it's 1,020,000. You invest the entire 1,020,000 pesos. And that means that's your principal na. Diyan na applying 2%, which means that you earn 20,400 again the following year, diba? And that's a challenge tayo sa math. But you see the point there, the compounding aspect of investments.
Yeah. So parang your base gets bigger.
Yes.
Your base gets bigger.
Exactly.
Kaya lang, ang tawag dito, Eric, what you're saying is the textbook explanation of time value of money. But what's really not factored there is risk. Diba? We can always say that your interest now will earn interest tomorrow and interest the next couple of periods. That's your time value of money, diba? May patong, yung patong, yung patong. But what about risk? It's something that we often hear when it comes to investing. It's something that kahit papaano people try to avoid, diba? It's a no-brainer that you don't want to lose, diba? It's something that people would always try to avoid. diba? Losing money, no? How does risk influence one's decision as far as investing is concerned?
Again, great questions. You guys are coming up with these great questions for me. Okay, off the bat, it's good to discuss risks. No, it's good that you brought it up because investing, it offers you a higher income potential than keeping it in a savings account, or in fact, worse, just keeping it in a baul, in your house. But yes, there are risks. But the good thing about risks is that it's not a one size fits all. No, it's not like if you invest, may ganitong level of risk, and then that's it. In the markets now, there are a lot of investment outlets available. And these investment outlets will carry a certain level of risk given what they are.
Tulad ng, binigyan na kita ng pare binigyan na kita ng platform tulad ng,
okay,
pangalanan mo na.
Okay, so say for example, and this is usually, pag sinabi investments, ito yung first na iniisip ng mga tao, stocks, no? So say for example, stocks. A stock investment would typically offer you a high level of risk. No? But that high level of risk is normally commensurate with its income potential. If you look at the historical returns of the local Philippine Stock Exchange, you see that over the past 10, 20 years, you'd see there's really growth. No? But if you look at the graph, we just don't have a graph now. If you look at the graph, there are a lot of kinks along the way. There's a lot of volatility. Hindi siya like straight paakyat ng ganyan. So those kinks, those volatilities, those are the risks involved in investing. The good thing though about risk, is that while we can't avoid them, it is a natural part of investing. We can mitigate it. We can control it. How do we control it? You invest in something that is within your risk appetite. And you invest in something that is within your investment objective. So that's how you do it. And normally, if you talk to any fund manager, like of course, and here's my BPI Asset Management Corporation.
Akala ko hindi mo papangalanan eh. Sabi ko, hindi, nahiya yata si Mr. Eric Francis R. Manalaysay. Papangalanan mo rin pala. Sige. tuloy natin to. Sige.
So yun, if you talk to us, say for example, for your investments, this is actually an ongoing conversation with our clients. We try to understand their risk profile. We try to understand their investment profile. And from there, we try to match it based on that one and on the products that we have here in BPI EMPC. So that's how we normally do it.
So what you're saying is, as far as losing money is concerned, it's a given. It's something that you have to deal with. Because whatever asset class it may be, there's going to be a chance that you will lose money. It's just that you have to find a way kung paano ma-mitigate yung possibility of that. Parang ganun. Because of course, the potential of you earning more is higher as compared to you losing money. Parang ganun ba yung sinasabi mo?
The potential to lose money, I wouldn't call it that, because okay, fine.
It's a paper loss, of course.
But it can be paper loss. That's the thing.
Yes.
If you stick to your investment horizon, if you strictly follow your investment strategy, then risks can be mitigated. Risks can be basically lowered to the point na, in fact, there are some investment outlets now while we can't guarantee that it will never go down. Historically, if you look at the performance, it rarely does go down. So to my point, investments, hindi siya like, eto, investment yan, and then ito yung risk, ito yung returns. No, it's a wide spectrum that you can choose from. You can choose the most conservative investment outlet. And if you invest in that, if you look at the historical performance, it rarely goes down. Like say, for example, if you invest in and I'm not going to be ashamed, if you invest in a BPI time deposit, that's an investment in itself, di ba? If you invest in that one,
yung time deposit niyo pa ang pre-promote. Akala ko pa naman na i-promote mo yung mga index funds mo, di ba? Nahiya ka pa, eh. Time deposit pa. Sige na nga. Oo.
Yung kasunod na yun. So,
sige,
for example,
oo.
the time deposit, the only chance for you to basically lose money there is if the bank closes down. Like if BPI closes down. I mean, but we have been here for the past 150 years, right? On the other side of the spectrum, and to Ren's point, if you invest in a BPI Invest Equity Index Fund, so that is a UITF invested in stocks, no, there will be volatility. In fact, right now, it is a very volatile market. But if you keep to within your horizon, the investment horizon for stocks is usually around 5-7 years. If you keep to that investment horizon, then you should be good. No? We don't guarantee returns. We don't guarantee income in investments because, I mean, who can predict the future, diba? But if you keep to that investment horizon, then that's basically sound investment strategy.
Which, going back, no, it brings us back to that concept of time value of money, time being your friend. No, you said that a while ago. Go ahead, JD.
So going back to risk, no, I think it's a given that everything may risk talaga yun. So you mentioned earlier about risk appetite. So for sure, you will not offer the same product to different kinds of people. So siguro to explain it simply, the concept of risk appetite or risk profile, parang usually kasi people who invest usually fill out or fill in a questionnaire questionnaire, right? So what's the purpose of the questionnaire? Diba the purpose really is to determine what is the risk appetite of the investor, of the person who invests their money in whatever fund. So siguro you parang Eric, you can expound in Tagalog for people to understand. Kasi a lot of people talaga
Nakakalimutan ka.
hindi what I mean, a lot of people are afraid, natatakot in investing their hard-earned money. Because the truth is, there's a risk. And the risk is higher than just simply saving it sa bank. That's the truth, di ba?
Yes.
So, to explain it sa kanila na, hey, kung medyo matakotin ka, you want to maintain your money, ito yung risk profile mo. Ito yung risk appetite mo. Let's say you're a conservative one. So siguro, explain natin what is a conservative investor. And what is an aggressive investor. Kailan ka ba magiging conservative? Kailan ka magiging aggressive? And using your questionnaire, paano malalaman ng bank or ng isang investment company ano yung profile ng tao na ito? And what is the right product na i-offer sa kanya?
Okay. So you're correct. No, we do what we call a suitability assessment. I mentioned a while ago na especially for our organization, before we onboard the client, it's really a conversation with them to understand their risk profile. And you actually hit it, natamaan mo siya, no, na naka-classify namin ng aming mga kliyente base kunyari sa conservative ba siya o kaya naman aggressive or somewhere in between, no? So for us, we have conservative, moderately aggressive, and aggressive. Yung questionnaire that we have, no, to assess our clients, usually katabi yan ng isang ng assessment with an actual investment advisor, no? So it's not just the questionnaire. There's an actual investment advisor that assists them to ask them, oh, ma'am, ilang years na po ba kayo nag-invest or first-time investor ba tayo? Ang sagot dyan, depende kung first-time investor, mag-gear ka towards conservative. The next, another question there would be, pag nabawasan yung investment nyo, say for example, may investment kayong 10,000 pesos, tapos nabawasan siya by 20%. Ano ang reaction mo?
Demanda na.
Like that. Will you panic? Well, in better English. But tipong ganyan. You will panic and take it out. Okay naman, you will keep within it, keep within the investment, and so on. So these questions are actually questions that are really accessible to the ordinary Filipino, to the Juan de la Cruz. Because from there, we get, yun na nga, the risk profile of either conservative or aggressive or somewhere in between. And from that risk profile, dyan na namin minamatch yung produkto namin. So say for example, you are an aggressive investor. You can actually already invest in all of the UITFs that BPI AMTC has. To date, we have 34. Sorry.
Sales pitch. Sales pitch para, di ba? Oo.
Yeah. But if, say, for example, you get a risk profile of moderately conservative, meron kaming suitable list of products na babagay lang sa moderately conservative investors. Sino ba itong mga moderately conservative investors to? These are exactly what you pointed out to a while ago, Attorney Justin. The people who are scared that their money will go down, no? The people na kunyari, bumaba ng 20% yung investments nila, medyo hindi na makakatulog sa gabi. No? And given na ganyan ang profile nila, BPI AMTC has products that are not that volatile. Historically, ang volatility level nila, and when I talk about volatility, yan yung taas-baba ng merkado. Historically, yung taas-baba ng investment outlet na iyon, mababa lamang. Kaya yung chances na bumaba yung investment niya, while there is that chance, no, we can't guarantee na hindi yan na mawawala yan. There is that chance. Pero that chance is on the smaller side, it's on the minimal side.
Eric, we're going to have a break, no? But before we go into that break, ito ang sasagutin mo mamaya about insurance and funds. Between insurance and funds, UITFs, mutual funds, no? How do they work? Similarities, more or less, generally speaking lang, differences. And ultimately, is one better than the other? Alright? So yun ang sasagutin mo mamaya, alright? Right after this break.
Parang kailan lang, nung nag-aaral pa ako, lagi kang nasa tabi ko. Kahit napagod ka, pipilitin mo pa rin akong tulungan. Kahit abutin tayo ng umaga. Natuto ako sa mga aral na paulit-ulit yung sinasabi at pinapaalala. Kahit minsan, nakakasawa. Pero ma, pa, tama pala kayo. Kaya kong tumayo sa sarili kong mga paa. Matapang na harapin ang mga pagsubok sa buhay. Nang dahil sa paggabay niyo. Alam ko, lagi niyo pa rin akong binabantayan. Ma, pa, salamat sa lahat.
And we're back! At dahil season ender natin ngayon, attorney, shoutout, damihan natin shoutout natin, mga 15 minutes na shoutout po.
Grabe naman yun.
Oo, sa mga kaibigan.
Si Eric.
Ha?
Madami
Ano?
pa tayong tatanong.
Hindi, may nagpapa-shoutout kasi sa akin.
Go!
Shoutout doon sa mga kasama natin sa opisina. Sila Mamen Lopez, di ba? Sila Beans, na kanina pa comment ng comment, di ba? Tsaka syempre sa mga kaibigan natin, mga kasama natin sa territories, di ba? Mga territories sila Sir Charlie, Sir Gad, Sir Aris, di ba? Mga buddies natin yan. How about you, attorney?
Siguro
Legal team.
because I was stumped.
Yung boss mo, i-shoutout mo.
Good evening, Attorney Carlos. Sana nanonood siya kung hindi siya busy.
Most likely he's not watching.
Oh no, right?
Ay,
Kasi Sir
okay,
Ramil.
Sir Ramil is watching. Oo. By the way, guys, nakalimutan namin sabihin, as much as possible, we want this show to be interactive. So kung may mga tanong kayo, ilagay nyo lang sa comment section. No? So, good evening kay Miss Cory Amor from Camarines Sur. She's watching. Ikaw, Eric, meron pang i-shoutout? Yung boss mo.
Shoutout sa boss ko, Boom Bondok, and of course, sa boss natin, si Alex Fernandez.
Oh.
Watching right now.
Oo nga, medyo yan
Tsaka
ang
sa marketing team,
nakakalimutan.
nakakalimutan natin.
Yeah, oo nga, the marketing team that
Kay Miss
makes this
Ronan, kay Miss Jen.
program possible every night. Diba? Oo. So, let's go. Eric, I was asking a while ago, between insurance and funds, ano yung kanilang pagkakaiba, pagkakaparehas, and which one is better? Is one really better than the other?
Actually, yun ang una natin sagutin, no? If one is better than the other. In fact, you can't compare them. It's like comparing apples to oranges. Kasi magkaibang bagay siya. Ibang need ang ina-address ng insurance versus sa isang investment. And I get it, the confusion. Kasi ngayon marami ng produkto na paminsan hybrid pa nga, insurance na may investment. No? But just to quickly differentiate, an investment is basically an investment. Purely your money, purely pag pinasok mo dyan, may invest siya. Lahat ng yon may invest. No? And then you get your income based on where you put it, right? Ang insurance, basically, ang need na ina-address niyan is, something, a liquidity that you will need in the future. No? So say, for example, life insurance. O kaya naman, health insurance. No? It's something that you need to protect you if there's an event, a future event that will take place. It's important to understand yung ganyang differentiator because insurance, ang main difference yan is yung money na nilalagay nyo dyan is also to pay for that eventual scenario. No? So say, for example, if health insurance, if something, God forbid, may maling mangyari sa atin health-wise, no? So, in terms of income potential, yes, of course, you get that higher income potential in an investment because pinapasok mo lang buong pera mo sa investment. But, yung flip side nun, if pure investment ka, you don't have that benefit of, like say, for example, something happened to you. You get this amount of money, o kaya naman, meron kang coverage sa isang hospital na libre kang makakapagpagamot. So you see, there may innate difference yung dalawa. Yung isa is for you to grow your money, that's investments. Yung isa is for you to prepare for certain life events that you want to be prepared for. No, there is sometimes may line na medyo mukha siyang nagkakapareho siya. Like say, for example, there are some products now na insurance pero may investment component. No, so yung binabayad mo sa insurance company, a certain portion pang insurance, a certain portion gets invested. No? So there are those products in the market, and for diligent investors, the best thing for you to do is, number one, know what you really want and know what you really need. And from that knowledge, you talk to people who can give you the proper security, so the proper vehicle for that need.
So what you're saying, bandang huli, Eric, besides money, ang kailangan mo pang i-consider kapag ikaw ay mag-i-invest is the purpose talaga, no? Saan mo siya gagamitin, no?
Yes.
Kahit gaano karami ang pera na gusto mong ilagay, if you don't know kung saan mo siya gagamitin, hindi mo alam kung saan ka mag-i-invest. Is that what you're saying, Eric? Yeah.
Oo. In fact, when we talk to clients, no, part of the things that, actually one of the first things na tinatanong namin is bakit mo ba gusto mag-invest in the first place? Diba? Because everything kind of flows from there, no? So say for example, may kliyente nagsabi sa akin, gusto ko mag-invest kasi in preparation for the expenses ng anak ko pag tungtong niya ng college. No? Kunyari, yan. So if ganyan, and ang next na question ko, ilang taon na po ba yung anak natin? Sabihin niya, 7 years old. So that means 10 years from now pa siya magka-college. So if you know the objective, you already know a lot of other things eh. With this, alam mo na kung ano yung investment horizon. May 10 years pa para palaguin yung pera niya. No? And since alam natin yung 10 years, alam natin yung konsepto na discuss natin kanina, yung time value of money, yung compounding, we can put it in an instrument that can take on the volatilities of the market. Okay lang. If we go back to the concept of risk, and I wanna drill down in this concept, if something offers you low risk, its income potential is also low. if something offers you high risk, then you want to be compensated kasi mataas yung risk eh. Gusto mo ma-compensate ka sa risk na sinasubject mo yung sarili mo. So you want the high income potential possible there. So you see there that dynamic, yung risk-reward spectrum. Low risk, low reward. High risk, high reward. In the case of this person who wants to invest for his kids' education 10 years down the road, he can afford a higher level of volatility, a higher level of risk, mainly because 10 taon pa yung investment niya. So he can afford that level of risk because if he wants to chase that high income potential.
May question para tayo kanina from Miss Susan Ducholke, no? One of our territory heads. She's asking, which one is better, safer? Traditional insurance, mutual fund, or trading? May sagot na ako dyan, attorney.
Ano?
St. Peter Life Plan. Diba? Yan ang mga sagot na pang 13th month, di ba? Yan ang magpapataas ng bonus natin. May sagot agad. May sagot agad ako, di ba?
Kasi it's a future need. Everybody dies.
Kidding aside, Eric, yung tanong, what's your answer to that? Insurance, fund, or trading? Better and safer?
It boils down to your objective, no? If you wanna protect
how about
yourself.
safer? Yeah, how about this is safer na lang? Kasi better really is subjective, eh, di ba? How about this is safer aspect? Which one is safer of the three?
The options kasi still cover a wide range. Eh. Like say for example, when we talk about insurance, may ibang insurance na mas risky than other insurance. If you talk about mutual funds, and I'm gonna categorize UITFs here na rin, because that is our product in BPI Asset Management Trust Corporation. There is also that wide range. May conservative, on the more conservative side na UITFs or mutual funds. May aggressive na UITFs and mutual funds. For direct trading, ganun din. What are you directly trading? No? So I guess to answer that, it still depends on what you need and what you want. Insurance is to protect you for a future event, no? To para matulungan ka maging ready for that one. You go for UITFs or mutual funds. If you want passive investments, yung UITFs kasi, these are unit investment trust funds. Essentially, these are pooled funds wherein we pool money together of various investors. Now, we do this to basically keep the cost down. In fact, for us in BPI, the minimum to open an account is just 10,000 pesos. So at 10,000 pesos,
tingnan mo naman yung facial expression ni Atty. Justin, di ba? Nagko-compute na yan. Bukas na bukas! Asahan mo kay...
I'm computing. Kasi again, I'm visual kasi I work with numbers. So when you said 10,000 and you say a pool of investors, how many 10,000 is it? I mean, para maging simple lang to lay people ha, kasi the one that's watching our program again are not as financially savvy or as us. To put it simply, when you said 10,000 is the one that you will invest, 10,000 pesos is equivalent to how many units? Kasi diba that's how UITF works, right? So the 10,000, to make it simple na lang, is equivalent to 1 unit, and you have 10 investors at 10,000 each. So you have 10 units, diba? So I think from that point on, saka natin i-explain to our viewers how UITF works. So paano ba yun? Kasi it's an abstraction eh. I mean really, you're not familiar with financial terms and how that works. You are easily scared and intimidated is the word eh. Huh? My money is what? This so and so units lang? Bakit ganun lang? I thought I invested 10,000 pesos. So, siguro to explain to people, bakit nga ba divided into units and it earns per unit, something like that. So, siguro para for them to get an appreciation kung ano ba talaga yun.
Okay. So maganda yung example natin, Attorney Justin. No? So, I'm just gonna ride on your example. So, say for example, nasa isang kwarto tayo, 10 tayo, each of us naglagay ng 10,000 pesos. So, ang portfolio natin ngayon, 100,000.
Yeah.
10,000 times 10. Tama pa naman ang math natin thus far. Okay. So, that 100,000 pesos in itself, since 100,000 yung value niya, mas malaki yung purchasing power niya to invest in various securities than say, for example, we all do it individually. Kasi kung ako 10,000 pesos lang ang pera ko to invest, ano lang ang kaya ko bilhin, di ba? Versus a portfolio that can buy, that has the value of 100,000 pesos. So that's the first thing, no? The value of a UITF or a pooled fund. Now, say for example, in-invest natin 100,000 pesos at lumaki. At gawin lang nating madali yung numbers para hindi tayo mahirapan mag-math. Gawin natin, lumago siya to 200,000 pesos. 200,000 pesos. Remember that our ownership in the UITF is tigwa 1 unit tayo. Diba? 10 units ang UITF, tigwa 1 unit tayo. Since 200,000 na yung value nung portfolio natin, if you divide it by the total number of units, meaning, in a nutshell, divided by the total number of people there. Kasi pare-pareho lang tayong may 1 unit. And you'd get 20,000 pesos. What is 20,000? Yan ang kinita natin. So that's the value of a UITF. Sama-sama, kumbaga nagpupundar at pumupuhunan. That's the term. Pumupuhunan. Namumuhunan, sorry. Namumuhunan.
Ang hirap pag matagal ka sa Ateneo eh. Ganun talaga. From elementary to college hanggang master, nasa Ateneo ka. Medyo challenged yung pagtatagal. Biro lang pare ha. Biro lang. Sama-sama.
Yes. Tapos, so sama-sama rin tayo dun sa value na kinita nung UITF. So, the main benefit of a UITF is that, well, you know, parang High School Musical, we're all in this together. Pag kumita, masaya tayong lahat, di ba? At sama-sama rin tayo.
Naisip mo yan, High School Musical.
Generation Musical.
No, yun ang ano niya, generasyon niya. Nalalaman na natin. Go ahead, Eric.
So yun, just going back to the question kanina, no? So, may wide spectrum of investments. UITFs and mutual funds, these are what you call passive investments because dun sa example natin na 100,000 peso portfolio na lumago to 200,000, yung nagde-decide kung saan siya i-invest is the fund manager. No? So the fund manager in BPI Asset Management and Trust Corporation. So basically, siya yung nagpumipili kung saan i-invest. No? Kung if it's a stock UITF, siya yung pipili kung saan stocks na i-invest yan. So that is a passive investing. Doon naman sa trading, and I'm guessing what the person who asked it, no, yung question niya na trading, yan naman yung mga tao that we call direct traders, no. At ang pinakasikat na format ng ganitong direct trading would be yung online trading platforms.
Yes.
No? So we have a lot of those. So basically, for that one, yung investor yung pipili kung saan stock siya lulugar, no? Kung ano yung bibili niya. And there are some benefits, no, to this one. Mainly, yung flexibility, makakapili ka kung saan. That's the main pro. A con, if you can call it a con, would be the higher cost. Kasi syempre, you're doing it alone. No? So, in order for you to create a portfolio that is resilient and a portfolio that is, you know, well diversified, it will take a lot more money, no? And a lot more of your time. Kasi kung magte-trade ka, syempre, dun ka sa trading hours. At usually, trading hours, office hours. So kung nagtatrabaho ka, maybe it's not as feasible. So there are pros and cons to both.
You're talking about portfolio, no? Tama ba ang isang portfolio para ma-picture ng ating mga viewers? Para siyang basket. Tama ba? It's a basket kung saan inilalagay mo dyan ang iyong investment sa stocks, sa investments mo sa time deposit, diba? It's where everything, it's where you put everything, diba? That's your basket. Yan yung naghahawak ng iyong investments. Now, Eric, ngayon lalong-lalo na in situations wherein the value of your investment horribly, 50% Lalo na nung nangyari nung last March, let's say, no? Lalo na because of the pandemic, no? Ano ang dapat na mindset ng isang investor? And by the way, should we invest ngayong panahon ng pandemic?
That's a good question. Kasi normally, another way of phrasing that na lagi natin to naririnig, pandemya, bakit ako mag-i-invest? Diba? But the question there, if you think about it, no, ang tanong kasi diyan, when should it's a question of when, 'di ba? Kailan, 'di ba? But I wanna flip that kasi it's not actually a when question. Rather than asking, eto ba yung panahon para mag-invest? Okay, naman pandemya, kailangan ko ba hintayin bago ako mag-invest? No, it's a when question kailan? Rather than a when question, I would rather look at it as a where question, no? Hindi, ngayon ba ako dapat mag-invest or bukas ba ako mag-invest? Ang question yan, given sa nangyayari ngayon, given sa kung ano mang nangyayari sa merkado, given those happenings, where should I be invested? I go back to what I mentioned at the start of our of this session. I said that investments should be a natural part of someone's financial portfolio. And it holds true even for situations like 2020, yung pandemic year. So it's not as if pandemic, hindi na ako mag-i-invest. In fact, there's a lot of opportunities given the pandemic, no? So just as an example, gawin nating layman's terms. Last year, height of the pandemic, the Philippine Stock Exchange Index went down from a high of around 7,000, 8,000 level. Isipin na natin number, 7,000, 8,000 level, bumagsak siya nung height ng pandemic to less than 6,000.
Mm-hmm.
No? So, hindi niya kailangan intindihan kung ano ibig sabihin ng numbers. But basically, you see the drop from 8,000 to 6,000. Mm-hmm. And that one is actually a good opportunity to buy into the stock exchange. Because historically, if you look at the performance of the stock exchange, merong rebound yan. We know that the pandemic, while unfortunate, is a temporary thing. And right now, we're seeing it already. The stock market has rebounded. Well, it's medyo volatile on the way back to that recovery, but it's recovering. You go back to historical instances also of a pandemic-like incident. The nearest one to think of is the 2008 financial crisis. Diba? The stock market went down, but in 2 years, it's gone back up. Yeah. Before that, bata-bata ba tayo, the Asian financial crisis. No? So all of these things, we saw a huge dip in the market, pero nagre-recover din siya. Because again, in the long run, everything goes up. In the long run. It's not guaranteed. It's not smooth sailing going back there. It's gonna be volatile, but there is upside. No? So to the question, if, do you invest in a pandemic? It's not, the pandemic is an outside factor. What you think about is yourself. What is your risk profile? How much money can you afford to, put into the market, and how much risk can you subject that money? And then from there, we can know what investment will match you. Because again, investments should be part of your financial portfolio.
So, Eric, siguro as a last question, time flies so fast. Almost done. So, as a last question, do you have any final thoughts? And I think, personally, I also wanted to know, kasi when you express interest in investing, people often tell you, nila sinasabi sa'yo na, if you want to invest, it has to be something, a money that you're willing to let go. Or I'm willing to lose it or something. So, what are your thoughts on this and any other finance?
I guess what we should be thinking of when we talk about investments is that it is not a one-size-fits-all thing. Investment is not, it's not this is an investment. It's actually a spectrum of investment outlets that you can choose from. there are different levels of risks. May ibang investment that can be very, very risky. No? There are also some investments that are on the more conservative side. You just have to remember what is your objective. Do you want that investment that offers you that conservative level of risk, but of course, you only get a small income potential there? Or do you want to chase those high returns? Do you want to chase the heavens? But of course, while you're doing that, there's a lot of volatility. No? So investments is not, this is it, and you buy it if you want, if you can gamble, buy this. No, it's not. If you have money, and I mean, all of us, may pera tayo, don't just keep it in a savings account because malulugi ka, mapag-iiwanan ka. You invest it, and you invest it based on your profile. And the good thing about that is that, especially in 2021, when information is always available, and you have companies like ourselves, who are more than willing to assist all of the clients that come our way, you can make an informed decision to basically mitigate those risks that are naturally part of investing.
Well said. Well said. Well said, Erica. Thank you. Thank you so much for viewing with us tonight. And bago ka magpaalam, syempre, tulad ng nabanggit natin kanina, punta na tayo sa pinakahihintay na parte ng ating program. Tama ba, Attorney?
Oo. So, Eric, kindly announce the winners.
Wala pa yung tanong eh.
Wala pa ba?
Tatanong ko muna. Oo.
Akala ko natanong mo na kasi.
Oo, eto na. Para sa ating mapapalad na winners of 1,000 pesos each, ito ang una nating katanungan. Ang mechanics pala natin, ganito. I'll ask the question, ibabato ko yung tanong, and then kapag pinost na dito sa ating Facebook page yung hashtag, ano ba yung hashtag natin? Better to invest? Best to invest.
Best to invest.
Pag lumabas na yung best to invest dyan sa inyong mga screens, doon nyo ilalagay yung sagot. Okay? Saan kayo maglalagay ng sagot? Sa comment section. Sa comment section ba? Tama ba, Ryan?
Ng Facebook page, right?
Oo, doon mo ilalagay yung iyong kasagutan. Alright? So, para sa ating unang katanungan, okay? Ating unang tanong, sino ang ating speaker? Hindi ngayon. Nung unang episode. Sinabi ko yan nung bago magsimula yung episode natin. Okay. So, paglabas ng hashtag best invest, yung pang-5, yung pang-5 makakakuha ng tamang kasagutan. Siya ang mananalo ng ating 1,000 pesos. Alright? So, go! Meron na ba? Meron na bang nanalo? Ryan? Mamaya na. Itanong ko muna yung pangalawa nating question. Yung ating pangalawang tanong. Okay. Yung ating 4th episode. Sinabi ko rin kanina. Ano ang hashtag natin doon? Parang sinabi ko kanina, di ba? About the vaccines, di ba? Attorney, di ba?
Yes.
Oo. So, pag lumabas yung hashtag best to invest, yung pang-10 na makakukuha ng tamang kasagutan, siya ang mananalo ng 1,000 pesos. So, Ryan, we're ready when you're ready. Go! Ryan?
Suspense.
Wala pa lumalabas. Ayan. Ito na. Third question. Ano ang pangalan ng ating guest for tonight?
Napakadali naman.
Ating guest for tonight. Pag lumabas yung best to invest, yung ika-10 na makakakuha ng tamang kasagutan, siya ang mananalo. Go! Ryan, do we have the winners now para doon sa una nating question?
Parang may flash siya kanina.
Meron na ba? Yun na ba ang winner?
Yung first one, I think meron. Tama ba? The one that you flashed, yun na ba yung nanalo? May nakita akong name.
For the first question, Ryan.
First question, sino ba daw?
Who's the winner? Are you there, Ryan?
Ayun.
Ayun. O, pakilagay dun sa paki-flash sa screen para basahin ni Eric.
Oo.
Okay, so ang winner natin sa first question ay si Mr. Charlie Jorge. Congratulations!
May pang cheeseburger na si Sir Charlie, pang midnight snack niya ngayon, Ang daya. Joke lang, sir. For our second question, sinong nakatama? Ryan.
For the second question, the winner
is
Miss Aleli Sulyo. Congratulations!
Congrats!
And for our third question,
our winner for the third question, sana tama po ang nasagot na tanong. Thank you very much. Nahuli niyo po ang pangalan ko, Sir Dan-Marie Ocampo.
Miss yan, pare.
Ay, ma'am, Dan-Marie Ocampo. Congratulations!
Congrats!
Tama ba i-message na lang later si Ryan? Please give Ryan your mobile numbers, no? Direct message na lang ba? Tama ba, attorney?
Yeah.
Yeah, ayan, direct message. Paki-direct message na lang, give your number, and of course, your name. Alright! Nako, naka 10 episodes tayo, attorney, no?
Yes!
You're
a season ender, Eric.
Oo nga. O, yung spill mo na, attorney. Oy, pinag-usapan natin, Eric, ha? Sabay-sabay tayo, ha?
Game.
So thank you again for our viewers for joining us tonight and for joining us for the past 10 episodes of Life Matters. So this is another relevant and timely episode of Life Matters. So do take care, strictly follow health and safety protocols, and stay safe because
Life matters!
Life matters!
Happy weekend!